Welcome back. Time now for news from the left. First up, an animal rights activist storming the stage during the famous Nathan's 4th of July International Hot Dog Eating Contest. Coney Island, New York. Joey Chestnut took matters into his own hands. Watch there. Oh, man. The hot dog king. Just pounding these hot dogs. I mean, how many of these things does he eat? Like 50, 70, something like that? I'm going to eat 50 hot dogs, and I'm going to put you in a chokehold. 63 is what I just heard in my ear. Can you imagine eating 63 hot dogs? Chestnut securing his 15th win in the event with those 63 hot dogs. And he put a guy in a chokehold. That guy's lucky he didn't eat his ear. SportsCenter says Chestnut is the holder of the most championship titles in a single event ever, passing Rafael Nadal, who has been a wizard at the French Open. Loves the clay. Next up, Tom Hanks calling out Pixar for replacing conservative actor Tim Allen with somebody else to voice Buzz Lightyear. Take a listen.
It's going to be strange to be in theaters opposite a Buzz Lightyear film.
How about that? Why it's not? I wanted to go head to head with Tim Allen, and they didn't let Tim Allen do it. I don't understand that.
It's Chris Evans' kid.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, can't have any conservatives in the movie. Wouldn't want to do that. Want to make sure that nobody watches the movie, too, because all those flyover states that they hate, yeah, that's where they make all their money. That's the problem with Hollywood now. They used to make movies for regular people in this country, and now they just make it for themselves. The only problem is nobody in L.A. and New York really go to movies. Next up, weekends on MSNBC are actually hilarious if you need a good laugh. If you ever need to see the future of left-wing cable news, check it out. It's horrifying. Check out this moment from some Saturday show talking about the Supreme Court's decision on Roe versus Wade. Just watch this.
Well, I agree with what Congresswoman AOC and many others have said, which is that this is a judicial coup at this point. The judicial branch is absolutely overreaching in their power. This is a clear descent into fascism if we don't take serious action. And I don't say that lightly.
I think they just picked some girl in her college dorm who's just a pissed off liberal with daddy's credit card to just talk about it on the show called Zerlina. So if you want to watch just ridiculous stuff, check it out on the weekends. About 0.0001% of Americans identify with news like that. It's just comical. MSNBC, though, not much better during the week. Glenn Kirshner was asked about what the post-Roe world will look like. Listen to just how insane these people are.
Oh, I think privacy rights will be all but abolished, whether it's gay marriage, whether it's interracial marriage, which I think might qualify as irony for Justice Thomas, whether it's contraception, and I don't believe for a minute they're not going to come after desegregation.
I mean, the lunacy of it all. Just because even Ruth Bader Ginsburg knew that Roe did not belong underneath the privacy clause. Even she knew that. And because they just want to correct this little constitutional screw-up that happened, 50 years ago? Just because of that, now they're going to go after desegregation. Now, you might be thinking, there's no way Clarence Thomas is going to go after desegregation, right? Be careful. Because as you know, Clarence Thomas is not black because he didn't vote for Joe Biden. We learned that in the come up to the last election. If you didn't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black. So maybe he is. I think maybe Clarence Thomas wants laws in this country to forcibly make him divorce his wife. I think that's what's coming next. It makes a lot of sense. And if you want more like that, just watch MSNBC until your eyes bleed. Next up, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, still making music while wearing their adult diapers, have rejoined Spotify after a 5-month-long protest of Joe Rogan. Back in February, the three left Spotify after Neil Young made the same move. They were so offended by Joe Rogan, who's not even, Joe Rogan supported Bernie Sanders in 2016. Can you imagine how flaky and flimsy and weak these libs are? That, oh my God, he has a podcast. The trio saying, we support Neil, we agree with him. There's dangerous disinformation being aired on Spotify's Joe Rogan podcast. That dangerous misinformation, yeah, talking about anybody criticizing or even questioning the COVID vaccine, which, by the way, how much of the hesitancy has been validated in some way or another? Yeah, you still can't do it. It's 5 months later now, and the trio is ready to rejoin the streaming platform. There they are. But they didn't want to look like they're just coming back because they needed the money, right? Billboard is reporting Crosby, Stills, and Nash will donate proceeds from streams to COVID-19 charities for at least a month. Just a month? Capitalist pigs. Donate it for the next 10 years. What's the matter with you? Disgusting. How dare they? They call themselves liberal. All right, finally tonight, some perspective. California Governor Gavin Newsom offering virtually nothing good. Another limousine liberal who got elected with his hair, offering horrible policies and nonstop toxic virtue signaling. Gavin Newsom's style of politics are exactly what's destroying his state. And now he's not satisfied with just California. He screwed it up enough. He needs more things to screw up, so he's going to run for president. That's right. In 2024, you're going to see Governor Hare up there running for election. And he actually has the audacity to think that he can win Florida. The governor of California, look at California right now, look at Florida right now. The governor of California thinks that the people of Florida are going to elect him to run the entire country. And he put out an ad. I'm going to let you see it in its entirety. You're going to love it. I hope you're not eating. Take a look.
It's Independence Day, so let's talk about what's going on in America. Freedom, it's under attack in your state. Your Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors. I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight, or join us in California, where we still believe in freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom to choose, freedom from hate, and the freedom to love. Don't let them take your freedom.
God, he sucks. Gavin Newsom with a straight face telling Florida residents to move to California because, according to him, his state is the bastion of freedom. Can you even fathom saying that with a straight face as you run the state of California? Leave Florida, arguably the most prosperous place in the world right now. Leave that state and move to California, where they're forcing businesses to evacuate, riddled with homeless drug addicts all over the streets, plagued by crime and robberies, a place where the criminals have more rights than the victims, total lawlessness, a collapsing society in every way possible. Move here. There is no greater cancer in society than politicians like Gavin Newsom, an absolute plague on America, no shame, humiliating themselves and cheered on by our pathetic media as they do it. Gavin Newsom, run at your own peril. You are going to get eviscerated if you try. Good night.